And I want to welcome everyone who's joining me today, wherever, whenever you are. We're here in Los Angeles right now. It is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's a beautiful sunny day in the 80s. So wherever you are in the country or the world, I do want to thank you for taking some time out of your day to join me. I have a lovely panel of my colleagues that you all see their profiles there. They'll be assisting with Q&A. So I'm about to launch a presentation shortly. Should you have any questions throughout the course of the presentation, hopefully I'll be able to answer them as I speak. So I do ask to maybe hold off on the questions until the end. The audio portion, me talking, should last maybe 20-25 minutes. Hopefully I can get through these slides pretty quick. But again, if you have questions, please do feel free to ask in the Q&A. Everyone's familiar with Zoom by now, so as you know, we have a chat and a Q&A. We ask that you submit your questions to us via the Q&A portion of your window. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump in, introduce myself. My name is William Schwerin, Senior Director of Graduate Recruitment here at the USC Viterbi School of Engineering. Hopefully you can all see the screen that I'm sharing right now. This is the presentation that we're going to begin. So engineering the future. So that's a lovely picture. It's an actual picture on campus over at the USC Village. Those are some engineering students. So our graduate programs, our master's and PhD programs are what I'm going to be discussing, and essentially just hopefully providing you a broad overview of information to give you a better idea of both USC and the Viterbi School of Engineering, specifically what it looks like here, what we look for in a prospective applicant, and things of that nature. So let's begin. So as I mentioned, when we first signed on, we're located here in Los Angeles. Los Angeles is it's a big city, big metropolitan city in the state of California in the United States. We're in Southern California, and our location in Los Angeles is pretty central to, I guess, downtown LA. We're about 2 miles directly south from downtown LA, and some landmarks in downtown LA, like it used to be called the Staples Center. Now it's Crypto.com Arena, I think, where the LA Lakers, like their basketball team plays. There's a hockey team that plays there. There's also LA Live, which is a very mini Times Square, if you want. But it has restaurants and a lot of nightlife. It's a really fun place and very short distance from campus. But just to the west of us, I'd say 15, 20 minutes by car without traffic, you can get to the beach, Santa Monica. Beautiful Santa Monica. And then about 2 hours south of us is San Diego, and a 6 to 7 hour car ride or a quick 1 hour flight up north is the San Francisco Bay Area. Also, to give you some context where we are, it's about a 4 hour drive from here to Las Vegas, Nevada. So sometimes students on weekends will tend to go there to, blow off some steam. But here in Los Angeles, it's great because there's a lot going on. So for a young student, you really have the world at your fingertips. It's very multicultural here. We're a global center for arts, technology, business, and even universities. There are a lot of great universities in and around the Los Angeles and Southern California region. A big tech hub. A lot of the more prominent companies in Silicon Valley, I think they recognize the great beach areas that we have here down here in Southern California, and they've opened a lot of offices down along the beach area, and that's now called Silicon Beach. So what's nice is a lot of students, proximity wise to industry, it's great, especially for students who are looking for internships or maybe a full-time job, or just need to go on an interview with someone at the company. They don't have to travel far always to interview, for example. There's a lot of other activities, as you can see here. One final note before I go to our next slide. The really cool thing, I think, in the next coming years about Los Angeles is we're going to have a lot of international events taking place. So the World Cup is coming here. The U.S. Olympics are coming here in 2028. I think the World Cup comes next year. And then the Super Bowl is going to be here either next year or 2028 as well. So there's just a lot of really big events that are going to be taking place here in Los Angeles. It's just really exciting because you definitely feel the energy. There's a lot of energy here in the city of Los Angeles. So at USC, University of Southern California, excuse me, we're a private institution located, where we're located. For our private institution, the oldest private institution on the West Coast, we were founded back in 1880. Within the university, there's 22 academic schools and divisions, the Viterbi School of Engineering being one of those, and we have about 47,000 total students. One of the unique things about USC is we have more graduate students than undergrads. So we have about 22,000 undergraduate students, and our graduate student population is actually more. So that's something unique. You go to a public school, it's definitely going to be more lopsided towards undergraduates. So there's a lot of students here doing research, pursuing either a master's or PhD at the university level. And similarly, within the School of Engineering, it's a very similar kind of ratio as well, where we have more students pursuing their graduate program than undergrads. Now, the composition of our graduate program, the master's and PhD, is we have over 5,000, I want to say over 5,500 master's students, and then slightly over 1,000 PhD students within the engineering school alone. So we're a large engineering school, but we're able to support our engineering students. And so that's one of the reasons why we're able to have such a larger student population at the graduate level. Within the engineering school, specifically at the master's level, we have 65. That's a lot. 65 master's programs. So we really allow students to find their niche and become a master in a particular field. And I'll go through a handful of those, but that's within 8 academic departments. Okay, I know I'm going to be throwing a lot of numbers at you. Just remember, we have 8 academic departments within the engineering school. Within those 8 departments, there are 65 master's programs and 13 PhD programs. Okay, we have a tremendous online delivery program for working professionals who are mostly in the United States, who want to go back to school to earn their master's as well. Now, this delivery method does benefit our on-campus students. I'll talk about that a little bit later because I do have a slide there. Within the engineering school, there are 38 research centers. Now, not all of these research centers are located on campus. There are some that are just off campus and then a little bit further away, and the school does have transportation that can take students and researchers to to these research centers that are off campus. So just remember that. Now, I did mention research, 38 research centers. The engineering school alone accounts for over 50% of the total research taking place at the university. So we're really a powerhouse at the university. And not only is it a great place to study, personally, it's a great place to work. So we are a tier 1 and R1 research university. Okay, and there you see the number in terms of annual research expenditures, things like that. There's some very core research areas, specifically in quantum, microelectronics, AI and machine learning, sustainability, and also space. We're one of the only schools with a bachelor's, master's, and PhD program focused on, we call it astronautical engineering. It's really, studying rockets and outer space. Now, within the engineering school, the impact we have, I did mention AI machine learning. Some of our alums have gone on to work at OpenAI and helped pave the way for ChatGPT, which a lot of us, myself included, use now. So there's specifically with regards to that, research in NLP, the natural language processing, machine learning, and data science were key contributing. They played a key role in the development by Viterbi alums with OpenAI. So it's kind of pretty cool and more recent news. Socially assistive robotics and robotics in general are pretty large within our computer science department. These specifically, I think, are just wonderful because they really focus on people who may have autism or have suffered a stroke. And a lot of times there's a shortage of caretakers, and it can be really hard for someone to find a caretaker to kind of rehabilitate. And we have robots that have been developed to really assist this specific population. So that's why the socially assisted robots um, are just wonderful. Um, Moving on to the next slide, I want to get through this. So our 8 academic departments you see listed here. Of our 8 departments, I'd say our, computer science and data science, that's our largest department. They make up, I want to say around almost 50% of our student population, followed by electrical and computer engineering. And then the remaining balance is pretty fairly spread out across the remaining departments within the engineering school. Now, I mentioned the 65 master's programs. So these are all sprinkled throughout. And on our website, we actually have dedicated web pages for each of the 65 programs. So there's a lot of information on our website, and we are well aware of that. So if you ever have a question about where to find something on our website, please feel free to contact us, ask us. You can ask us in the Q&A. We're in our website daily, and it's a lot easier for us to find maybe a specific page that you might be looking for, to keep you from having to go through and try to find it yourself. Now, our master's programs are course-based. So this is something actually, as you prepare for graduate school, every school is going to be different, okay? Some are going to be research-based and require you to write a thesis. Some are going to be course-based like ours. In terms of research, we only make it optional for students to do research or write a thesis. We don't require it in order to graduate. And so what that means is here at Viterbi, you just simply have to complete all the required courses with a 3.0 out of a 4.0 GPA or better to earn your degree. Now that translates into about between, I want to say 9 to, or maybe 7 to 8 classes. It really just kind of depends. Each program does vary in terms of the number of courses and units, but on average, it will take you about 1.5 to 2 years to complete. So they're, again, course-based programs. You gain you're able to gain industry experience during your program. A lot of students go on to engage in internships during the summer, or even during one of the semesters. They might take a reduced course load and do an internship, and then use our online delivery method in order to still be able to study. So just some options there. Now, in terms of what we look for in a prospective applicant, at minimum, you should have a bachelor's in either engineering, math, computer science, hard science, or a hard science related field such as physics, or if you took chemistry and you had a lot of math in there. So we are not able to assess you prior to submitting an online application. But just know that those are the areas we're looking for. And in our website and on the specific program pages, which I spoke about earlier, we do have application criteria and really drill down to what we're kind of, our admissions office is really kind of looking for. It's an online application. Currently, we have extended the spring deadline, so students who want to begin in January of 2026. And so that application deadline is October 1st, and I have a slide later that'll show it. But the reason I'm pointing this out is our application fee is increasing next fall. Not by a lot, but it's still noteworthy. Currently, it is $90 to apply for spring. To apply for next fall, it will be $105. I've been here 17 years. It's been $90 the whole time that I've been here. So we're finally increasing the application fee to $105. So just make a note of that. If you've done prior research and you thought it was 90, just something that we became aware of, that the application fee is increasing to $105 for fall 2026 applicants. Transcripts, we have a unique policy just for the engineering school. We have an exemption. You do not need to physically mail your transcripts to us. We will accept electronic copies of your official transcripts. You just upload them as a PDF into our online application. There's a section where you can upload additional documents, and that is where you can upload your official transcripts. We do require a resume or CV from you if you're applying to the master's program, and a personal statement. Letters of recommendation, this is where it is dependent upon the program in which you are applying for. This is only for master's applicants. Some programs do not require letters of rec, some will. So again, on our individual program pages on our website, you can actually take a look, or you can ask one of my colleagues in the Q&A. But on our website, we have all of that information provided. Finally, one final note, the GRE is not required, and this is really kind of since COVID, since 2020, we're not requiring the GRE. It's going to, and it's on a year-by-year kind of review. For 2026 master's applicants, it is not required. So even if you've taken the GRE, that's great. You don't have to submit your scores. Our admissions office will not be reviewing them. I wanted to show you this slide because we do have a number of programs. It's a growing list of programs for students who don't necessarily have those traditional engineering backgrounds, but we still do accept applications from students, and some students do get admitted into some of these programs for non-engineering majors as well. So it's just good to know, if you have some friends who really want to get into an engineering school and maybe just didn't study that in undergrad, or if that's you yourself, we do have this opportunity for you. So just kind of make a note. It's a really great list of programs. I'd say our analytics that program is really booming right now, and applied data science is always a very popular program from this list of programs for non-engineering majors. So why Dennett Viterbi? So this is actually specific to our online delivery method. And I mentioned it's mainly for working professionals, but what it is the on-campus lecture streamed live online to our online students. We don't pre-record lectures or anything like that. Everything's done live. We have it done in-house. We don't outsource our online program. It's all done within the engineering school, and we've been doing it for decades. And it's a really well-oiled machine by now. Now, the benefit, I'd say, for an on-campus student is if you're in a class that has this online component to it, you can actually watch the recording of the lecture. You have to attend class, so you can really sit in class and really try to absorb the material and not have to take notes. And then after the lecture, you can re-watch it, take any notes, or just look at the notes that have been taken by the professor during the class. So it's a really valuable study tool, especially around midterms and finals, that you can have at your disposal. So just kind of keep that in mind. And it's a top-ranked program, so it's well respected across the U.S. as well. Now, I'll talk briefly about our PhD program, and then I'll allow plenty of times for questions. Our PhD program is really for students who love research, want to get into research, and on average, you're going to be doing a lot of research, so it'll take you about 5 to 6 years in order to earn that PhD. One of the great things that is different from the master's about the PhD, even though you'll be here longer, we do aim to fully fund your PhD study. So just kind of keep that in mind. Our master's, not so much. And I'll talk about that later. But for a PhD program, USC does want our PhD engineering or computer science students to receive full funding if possible. Now, I'm not going to go through each of these, but this is just take a screenshot. These are some of the more popular research areas. On our website, we have an awesome keyword search portal where you can type in a keyword and it will then search which faculty have that keyword in their CV or research background. So you can get an idea of potential faculty that might be interested in working with. And it comes in handy not only if you want to reach out to faculty later, but also when you're writing a personal statement, you can actually mention faculty based on their background in your interest area. So you can keep that in mind. In terms of what admission looks for in a PhD applicant, it's similar and yet slightly different. So I'd say that our master's application process is pretty linear. Our PhD application process or admissions process is not so linear. So while we do look for, at minimum, a bachelor's in engineering, computer science, math, or hard science, It's the same online application that you fill out as a master's applicant. Official transcripts, again, just need to be scanned, uploaded, and attached to the online application. Resume, CV, again, that has to be uploaded as well. Personal statement. Also, 3 letters of recommendation at minimum are required for every PhD applicant. So that's one difference. So one, if not 2, should come from someone who has supervised you in a research lab setting, can talk about you in a research lab setting, because demonstrated research experience is required for PhD applicants. So while we do admit students who have only a bachelor's, if you only have a bachelor's and want to apply to our PhD program, you should have pretty significant research experience, and a couple of letters of recommendation should come from someone who can talk about your research, you as a researcher and in a research lab setting. Our faculty form committees within each of our 8 departments, and they do review each of the PhD applications that come in and make their decisions for who they want to admit. So faculty committees within each department review and admit PhD. It's a very competitive process. Now, the GRE is not required for most of our PhD programs except for 2. So make note, if you are interested in the PhD program in astronautical engineering, and I apologize for the acronym there, ASTE is astronautical engineering, or industrial and systems engineering, you will have to provide GRE scores. So just kind of keep that in mind. Now our deadlines. Okay, so I mentioned we extended the deadline for spring 2026. That deadline is now October 1st. So you do have a little bit more time if you're considering spring. Please do let us know, and we'll definitely encourage you to submit by October 1st. Our fall deadline for PhD programs is a hard December 15th. That is the final deadline for PhD. Our master's programs also has a December 15th deadline, but that is to be considered for scholarships. So we have a limited number of merit-based scholarships that we're able to award. If you want to be considered, get your application in no later than December 15th, okay? The final application deadline is going to be January 15th for master's applicants. So hopefully that makes sense. And again, this information is on our website. Now, in terms of the scholarships, I mentioned a limited number of partial merit-based scholarships, and they range between $10,000 to $20,000. As you can see there, there is an interview process involved, but you have to submit by that December 15th deadline. We also have an awesome Meta Fellowship that is offered to incoming master's students with a passion for AI, and that potentially can cover up to full tuition. So you must, in terms of eligibility, be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident, be pursuing a master's in either electrical and computer engineering, that's what ECE, again, apologize for the acronyms, or industrial and systems engineering. So those areas of master's students are what Meta and USC have decided they're looking for. So just kind of keep that in mind. You can scan the QR code and it'll take you to the dedicated webpage to learn more information. But that's a great program if you're specifically electrical and computer engineering or industrial and systems engineering, specifically interested in artificial intelligence. I'll go through these next couple slides pretty quick. So at USC, obviously, we have a career center that represents all of our student population. Within the engineering school, we have a career office that is just specific for our engineering students. It's great because this is a resource that we have for students. And I think being a private institution, USC is able to offer a lot of really great resources for students. These people work in these offices to help our students out. So I always tell students, go to our career office. And they put on a number of events, whether it be networking, career expos, they host twice a year, workshops such as resume writing, interview prep, salary negotiation. They're really here to assist you as a student during your time here. So we encourage students to seek career connections out. And also, this is really valuable, especially when it comes time to make a decision, either where to apply, or if you apply and are admitted, where to enroll. We have current master student ambassadors. They've been in your shoes before. They were admitted to programs and ultimately decided to enroll at USC within the engineering school. and they really want to just kind of give back and share their story and answer questions. And so if you go to the QR code or that link listed on the slide, that'll take you to our ambassador page where you can chat. And it's not an audio chat per se. It's actually just typing, that kind of chat. But they're very responsive and very helpful too. So I definitely encourage you from a peer-to-peer standpoint. Take advantage. It's a free service that we offer. So you can ask them questions as well. One final note, for anyone who is looking to come to Los Angeles or maybe wants to take a trip to Los Angeles and needs an excuse to get away from their snowy weather on the East Coast, if you're located there or wherever you are, we are hosting a preview day. We do this every year. This is, I want to say, oh golly, the 19th preview day. That'll be November 7th this year. It gives you the opportunity to meet with engineering faculty, advisors, us staff members, and also current students. It gives you a more in-depth look at our graduate programs and USC as a whole. We'll take you around and you get free food. We'll serve you lunch. We'll have a guest speaker. So it's really great and allows you the opportunity to visit campus in Los Angeles. So what more could you ask for? So without further ado, that ends the audio portion of our presentation. So if you do have any questions, please do use the Q&A. I will mention fee waivers. So simply for attending this session, we will not be offering application fee waivers. So please don't ask that. Just know that we will not be giving out fee waivers for attending this session. So, and thank you all for your questions so far. Thank you to my colleagues as well. I'll put a pin on the audio for now, but please do feel free to ask any questions in the Q&A, and I might hop back on if I see some questions that might be for our global audience to be able to that's relevant as well. So thank you so much. That does it for the PowerPoint, the slide deck portion. So if you need to hop off, thank you so much for joining. Again, we'll be on for a little while longer answering questions as well. So thank you so much. And yeah, it looks like my colleagues are doing a good job. So again, I'll pause the audio for now and come back on should any questions pop up. Thank you.